After all the ideas, the thoughts, and the pondering, I find that I am merely one fool wandering.
Yo, 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 hello again, human beings. Welcome to the channel. Gonna kind of try to contain myself during this video, but I'll give the warning now that later on in the video, as some of these topics come out, my anger may rise to the level of foul, violent words. So if you don't like those things, just like the video for the effort and get out of here. Why not subscribe on your way out? Anyway, I wanted to, again, revisit this idea of 50 free states because as I'm interacting with some of the activists that are out there on the street, people that are really just sick of the way the country's going, this topic comes up, and it's, for some, it's quite confusing. So the idea of 50 free states, it's my belief that when the country was founded, we were free states. Everybody's doing their own thing, the way they wanted. Now, the books tell us, and remember, the books are always written by the victor. So you're only getting one side of the story, but we're told basically the same thing we're told now. Someone's coming to get you, you can't defend yourself, and you can't afford this. And so these free people who had escaped rule of Britain and were ready to kill for it, that's obvious, right? We're free. And when you look at the founding fathers, the majority of them were tied to the British banking elite. And I believe that what better way to bring people back under control is, well, let's give them their own government. Sure, this is, oh no, you really, your vote matters. If you didn't participate, then the banks still run it now, people. You're not free. You're fighting amongst yourselves. You have a red hat for those guys, and there's a blue hat. Oh, wait a minute. Because some of those guys are mad at the orange guy now, and they have a blue hat that says America First, which is what MAGA was supposed to be, except it didn't turn out that way, and now they got a blue hat, and I don't know. Have those blue people infiltrated these former red hat people? I don't give a fuck. Look, I haven't even gotten to the reasons, and I don't care. I want you to take a good, honest look at, well, let me back up for a minute. Let's touch on the flag, because that seems to be a big deal. When people burn it, it causes other people to think they have to fight. Their feelings are hurt. The person burning it is only burning it because they know they can make you dance, and they know the law protects them from doing that. And it's all foolishness to me. In fact, I gave away and took down all my American flags. I didn't, with the exception of the plastic tinsel flag that was given to me by my dear past sister-in-law. But she gave it to me knowing that for over a decade, I flew a flag inverted, and that flag would fit on my door. So she gave me that as a gift. I broke that. I think it's blasphemy according to the flag code, but you don't seem to care about the code anymore. Because if somebody hangs that flag upside down like I did for over a decade to provoke these conversations, knowing as somebody who took the oath, all enemies, foreign and domestic, and after finding that all the enemies were domestic, I flew that flag inverted. It did upset some people who didn't know, but it brought some awesome, on my car, Everywhere I went. You see, there's no flag. I'm not fighting over cloth. That flag inverted, in my opinion, for over a decade, was a sign of respect because it should be flown inverted when there is imminent danger of loss of life and or property. In longer than I have been alive, which is 56 years the end of this May, people have lost their land and they have died from the things that the government has either intentionally done to us or allowed to happen to us so that members of that same government could profit. And I challenge any of you that are mad right now to prove me wrong. Well, just last night, something I've known about for a long time, another pissed me off. You can tell I'm getting upset again. But it was another documentary about the PFAS. If you don't know what those are, you need to do a lot more research before you're out there on the street yapping at people, telling them what you know. I think it's common knowledge, but I don't think it's common knowledge. It should be. But in this documentary about the carpet factory in Georgia who released the PFAS and it got into the water stream, and so the water supply there is fucked. People have all kinds of health problems around there. They're fucked. And it goes down into Alabama. Alabama didn't have any say in the matter. The people of Georgia, they made some decisions to allow that to happen. But the government did that for them. But the people of Alabama being poisoned, they didn't even know there was a goddamn carpet factory up there. Maybe they did. But they weren't involved, and they still suffered the consequence. That's because of decisions by this government. And allowing corporations to monitor themselves. Those corporations knew that there would be harm. They hid it. The government didn't keep up on them. It's up to the companies to regulate themselves and check themselves and then send some paperwork to the government. Okay, we got the paperwork from them. They're all set. Right. How about over a decade ago when I found out that, what was it, 75% of the reactors in this country are leaking low-level tritium? Has that been fixed? I don't know. Because as the facts added up, the spraying of our skies, it's coming out now. It's real, finally. After a lot of us screaming, myself for over a decade, others longer than that, finally now the government admits it in some fashion, and the sheep clap. Thank you for saving us from the sun. What? The fires in California, you wonder why those rage? Oh, it's because there's a water shortage. No, it's because the aluminum in that spray on the microscopic level coats the trees and it's highly flammable. Yeah, that aluminum is half the ingredient for the same shit that probably cut the beams on the trade towers, thermite. Look it up. Read a fucking book. Read a document. This government is a corrupt, terrorist regime. The corporations, there should have never been a corporation. That documentary on the PFAS, there's many. Watch any one of them. The reactors leaking, the spraying of the skies, the chemicals that we must inject into the food supply, into the cows, and in the things that we give farm animals, because in the pills that are safe to use until 15 or 20 years pass by, and we have an opioid epidemic. And when the company gets sued, they send a few people to rehab. They pay about 20% of the money they profited, cost of doing business. Fuck you, American people. Fuck you. Vote for me. It goes on and on and on and on and on, and you're fighting amongst yourselves with your red hat and your blue hat and your beliefs. And it's the same fucking thing. They're coming to get you, those brown people. You can't afford this. Fighting amongst ourselves. Should we allow just anybody and anybody to come here? No. No, absolutely not. But we also shouldn't have done things. You have to hold this government accountable. You cannot pick the one president and say they did this and then they did this and then no, they all did this, god damn it! They all did this! Longer than I've been alive, longer than you've been alive. You wonder why how many military men kill themselves every day? The last time I looked, it was more than 20. You know why? Because after they served, after they gave their all, and they came home and their country turned their back on them, and they did research and they found out that they killed innocent people for a fucking lie. These are facts. And the reason it happens is because all of those people, even our representatives from our states, we send them to a place that isn't even a fucking state. A place that we can only go to when we're allowed to. And they hide in fucking safety. When they do come home, where are they seen in public? So that when they make a bad choice, the people from their state can grab them by the neck and say, why the fuck did you do this? It's our job to hold these people accountable, and so therefore we are just as guilty. But the same thing that founded this country, an agreement between good men, leaders of their community, and a document, that's what started this country. It's what can reset this country. Now, I just had a rebuttal earlier that you can't change a government without violence. And they said, do you remember what happened last time? And I said, yeah, I do. We formed the document and said, we're doing this. And the people that thought they owned us didn't like that, and they drew arms and we shot them. We didn't shoot them and then draw a document. It must start with a document. Now, what are all the words on that document? I don't know. I don't know. But I know it encompasses all the needs of all the people. And I know that the first time we drew that document, it wasn't one person making that decision. And it's my opinion that the 50 heads of state, along with the leaders of our territories, because it's my belief that nobody should be our slave or take benefit from us. They're either an equal partner or their own either become a state or get the fuck out of here. Either is fine. I don't think no. So if they want to join on, then 51, 2, 3, whatever it ends up being. The heads of state draw a similar constitution with a whole lot of changes. DC turned into a world museum, frozen in time, so that the ones that come after us can see everything that was and how we took the power back out of that core and we put it out to where it started and where it was intended in each of the states. There are issues that bind us all. We know that, and that's fine. But to think that one man or even one system could govern all of us in every 50 states and the territories fairly unjustly, I think is absurd. I think each state has their own circumstances, and if they're doing something that doesn't flow down river and make Alabama toxic, Alabama, I'd be pissed if I were you. We all should be pissed. It's not just Alabama. I remember when I first started into talk radio, a little over a decade ago. I'll never forget Denny, and I've seen him twice. I hope to see him again when I'm able, hopefully later this year, to do another trip around the U.S. Stay tuned for that, because that's what I hoped for last year, and circumstances didn't allow that, but 2026 is starting off better. He got a hold of me because he lives in Nebraska. And in Nebraska, near where he lives, there was a munition plant. And after the Vietnam War, the chemicals that came out of that Cornhusker, there's something else you could read about. Nebraska is still trying to drain the poisoned water. Still, I was there 4 years ago, the second time I met Denny. Those toxins are still in the ground, still in the water. They're pumping them out to areas unknown where cattle could be grazing, not really sure, good possibility, if not, then the wildlife. But when he contacted me a decade or more ago to come on my show, he was worried because at that time they started piss testing the kids going into kindergarten. Him and I both knew it was because they were trying to track the spread of that chemical, and I forget the chemical. And now, a decade later, that stuff's still in the ground. It's still coming up in the groundwater, and it's quietly being pumped, I don't know where. Anyway, I could go on for hours. I used to for a lot of years, you guys. And you get to the point that you know so many facts that the only reasonable thing that you could see happen is that you want to storm D.C. and hang everybody there, and that would be just. I'm not a violent person. I know that one person, myself, doesn't have the right to make that choice. It has to be we the people. The problem it isn't. We're fighting amongst ourselves. But if we drop that and we got behind this idea of 50 free states, we could not only restore our country, but our standing in the world. We haven't even gotten into that part of the topic yet. Our standing in the world is shit. I don't give a fuck what Fox News or CNN tells you. Our standing in the world is shit. We're not trusted. And pretty soon we won't be welcome. Anyway, link below to the playlist where there'll be continually other videos. I definitely want your feedback on this topic, and I want to know. Just let's go just another minute. Back when Trump first came down the escalator, myself and another activist, female Negro activist, who fought for children's rights, Paula Flo, what a dear lady, we said we have to do something. And although I had gotten many people say, you know, that's not a bad idea, that 50 free states, that could work. That could work. People smarter than me, I'm just a fool. We put up a Facebook page, and we both had big followings through all social media then. We could only get 200 people who would make the public statement of liking the page. So all you had to do is like the page, and we would continue. We were willing to try to run, take office, and dissolve this with the same idea of handing the power over to the governors. That failed. not enough. 200 people, like, with somebody that reaches hundreds of thousands of people. I've had tweets in the past that have reached 1 million people in my heyday. And only 200 people that would make the public statement that, yes, our government is out of control and I'd like to do something about it. That's all you're saying. That's all you're saying when you help me get this idea in front of like minds. Now, to all that did serve, thank you for your service. And please accept my apology for not keeping my government in check. Much love, many thanks. Like, subscribe, share, all those things. The algorithm hates me, and you might as well now. Hey, I'm just a fool wandering.
Coward, chicken shit, fucks! You just looked at me. Your podcast sucks. You're calling